This is the first worked example for writing classes. The subgoal labels for writing a class are fairly long, as you might imagine, since writing a class contains many different parts. These are the subgoals that we'll go through in this example. 1. To name the class. 2. To differentiate between class level versus instance level variables. To differentiate between class level versus instance level behaviors or methods. To define any class level variables as needed. And to define the instance variables, the ones that we want to be stored for every instance. Here's the problem. We will be writing a class to represent an instance of time, like a specific time in the day. For the first part, determine the appropriate attributes to be stored and declare them. Subgoal 1, we have to name the class. We will call this class TimeType. Notice that TimeType is capitalized, as most classes in Java begin with a capital letter. Subgoal 2, differentiate between class level or static variables versus instance or object level variables. For class level variables, there is one value shared between all the instances. For instance level variables, each instance will have its own copy. For our example, TimeType, we want all the instances to be stored in the exact same format, so we will use a static variable for the format, and everything else will be instance variables. Subgoal 3, differentiate between class level versus instance level methods. For this example, all the methods will be instance level, since we're going to fix the format as a final and unchangeable constant value. Subgoal 4, define the class level variables as needed. When defining these variables, they will have a name, a data type, then you need to consider if they are public, private, or final. For this example, we want the format, which we will call format 24, indicating that all times will be in a 24-hour format, to be class level, so it's static. We want it to be a constant, so we declare it as final, and it will be a Boolean, which is true or false, in this case, true. Notice that because we've declared it as final, it can also be public. Subgoal 5, define the instance variables. Again, all of the instance variables need a name, a data type, and they should all be declared as private. We want to represent a time of the day using 3 different variables, all of type integer. One integer will represent the hour, one will represent the minute, and one will represent the second. Here we have our declarations. Notice they are all private, they're all integers. Here's the UML diagram, the Unified Modeling Language diagram, for the TimeType. Notice in UML is a big box broken into 3 pieces. The top piece is the name of the data type or the name of the class. The second section contains all of the variables or data attributes, and the bottom section will contain all of the methods or behaviors. The minus sign indicates that they are private. The plus sign indicates that they are public. Each one is declared, followed by a colon, followed by its data type. You should become familiar with reading UML diagrams, as we will be using them to specify the information for classes throughout the rest of this course that you're taking. That is the end of this worked example.